Okay, so this week I got a little time off work. I came back down to the Smokies. I was just here a couple of weekends ago and actually on this little piece of trail. Me and my daughter came down. This is Anthony Creek Trail. But today I'm gonna do a loop and it's gonna connect Anthony Creek, Russell Field Trail, a section of the Appalachian Trail, and then come back down. I think it's the Boat Mountain Trail. This is the Russell Field Trail, and I knew it before I got on it, but it's gonna be uphill the whole way. I think it was 3.5 miles up to the Appalachian Trail. So as far as trails go, it's like probably 90% of the trails here in the Smokies. Lots of rocks, lots of roots, and lots of downed leaves. I slipped and fell right on my butt, landed on a rock. I got wet clear up to my thigh. Fortunately, I didn't get hurt. But that's exactly why I didn't commit to a long, would have been a 4-day trip that I was going to do out of the back end of Cades Cove. I went to the trailhead this morning and looked at how the river was flowing there. And it was really wide and running fast. And I knew that that trip was going to have 2 more places that we're going to cross that they caution about crossing during high water. And currently here it is high water. All the water is rushing like crazy. So I canceled that trip. That would have taken me up and over the ridge twice and ended up back again at Abrams Creek Trailhead. But this way, I'm parked at Cades Cove. I'm camping there. I'm gonna do some loops, have some fun, dry out my feet, and try to stay safe. Just keep on walking until my feet are dry. This is the backcountry Camp 10. There's an area right up there for fire ring. And the typical Smoky Mountains bear pole. It's got a pulley system where you can keep your food up out of the way. I don't think this is the tent area, but it might actually be. It's a little too close to hanging food for me, but maybe there's another spot up here. Yeah, there's even another fire ring up here. Not sure where you'd set up your tent in this site. Maybe up here. But this is campsite 10. So I'm really not very much higher in elevation yet than I was last night at Cades Cove, or even back there at campsite 10. But there was a little bit of snow came down last night. So maybe I could be walking out the rest of the top of this loop in some snow. I don't know. We'll see. So where I'm at right here on the trail, this is still Russell Field Trail, and I'm getting closer to the AT up there. But behind me, I'm thinking from the map and the way the topography looks, that you could probably see, not a clear view, but down into Cades Cove from here, but not today. I'm in the clouds today with lots of snow. So I finally reached the AT, and this is the Russell shelter. This would be a good spot to make a short loop hike and overnight up here. Right now they've got a tarp up to keep the wind down on the inside. But this is just like the rest of them here in the AT. Fireplace, if you can find enough wood to keep it going. And then one giant double layered bunk. I don't know what the capacity in here is, but you need to make a reservation to use this. And they probably say like 12 people can sleep in here comfortably, but from experience I know you could fit a whole lot more in here. So I'm not sure what the temperature is, but the sun is starting to brighten things up just a little bit, and I think it's probably going to burn off this fog probably within the next hour or so. But what's about to happen is I think it's warm enough, and as soon as that sun's energy starts coming through, it's basically going to be raining. This snow's going to be all dripping off these trees. So the second half of my loop will be in rain. So now I'm at the junction, and from here down, well, from here on, it should be downhill. The boat trail will connect back up with, I think it's Anthony Creek, and I'll follow that back down to the trailhead where I started. A lot of people take this trail from Cades Cove, and if you turn here and you continue going towards the Spence Field Shelter, which is just right up and over the hill, if you continue going that way, you can go up to Rocky Top Mountain and to the Thunderer, and it's got a pretty good panoramic view from up there. And actually the sky's cleared now, and it would be a pretty decent view today. Well, I've had all kinds of conditions on this trail. I don't know if you'll see this, but I'm changing out of snow and right to the elevation, evidently where it was warm enough. The snow really didn't stick around. But I've been through cold and no wind and fog. And then it got a little bit sunny, but it was windy. So I had to put my fleece back on. And then it was dripping water. Then it dripped ice for a while. Now still dripping just a little bit of water, but the ground's pretty clear of all ice and snow. So I've seen it all today. Here's a view of Campsite 9. It's on Anthony Creek Trail. It's spread out. Looks like there's plenty of space to lay down a tent and lots of places to hang a hammock. And I don't know if you can hear or not, but there's a river runs just on the other side of it. Good place to draw your water. Okay, so I'm back on Anthony Creek Trail, and won't be very long. I'll be back to the campground. Here's a little short recap. This trail loop, when I get done and I figure it all out, I'll post how many miles it was as a loop. And I'm also going to, if I can find it and it's that big of a difference, show a diagram of the elevation So if you were to do this loop, it may be easier to go up backwards of what I walked it. I don't know. But if I can find that, I'll put that down also. This trail has 2 campsites along the way and 2 Appalachian Trail shelters. All campsites and shelters have to be reserved through the National Park Service. It's $4 a night. So this little loop would be good for a first-time backpacker. Just make sure to hang your food so that these spots aren't closed down, because bears keep coming in and finding leftover scraps and stuff. I don't want a bear coming in my camp because you left a Twinkie out. It's amazing the weather changes I've seen today. Now it's sky's clear. Whew. Trail's muddy. But I've seen the clouds, I've seen the drips, the cold, the wind, and the sun. So that's all for this loop. We'll see what happens tomorrow. So this morning, I'm walking a loop which starts right at the beginning of the Cades Cove loop. I was worried I was going to have to walk part of the loop with all the cars going through there. You can hear them down there right now. But it starts right at the beginning of the loop, so you're not in the traffic at all. This loop is going to be the Crooked Arm Loop Trail, the Indian Grave Gap Trail, and the Rich Mountain Loop. So I'm not sure how long it'll take. I'm not even sure how many miles it is. But it looked doable on the map, so that's what I'll be into today. So the mountains are broken up by the trees here in the foreground, but those are the mountains on the other side of Cades Cove. Cades Cove's between me and those mountains over there. There's Cades Cove down there, and it is now covered in a blanket of fog. Those people are probably driving around and thinking, this is a crummy day. Maybe they should have gone for a walk. And this is Camp 6. uphill all the way to the junction. So if you take this loop, expect probably going to stop and take a lot of breathers, a lot of little water breaks. It's uphill all the way, but just hang in there, because now that I'm on this Indian Grave Gap trail, it's leveled out. It appears it's going to be an easy trail, even from the map, the top of it I've looked at. There may be a little bit up and down, but pretty much I'm guessing for the rest of this trail, even when it connects to that rich mountain trail, I'm gonna be flat across this one and then downhill on that one, so the rest of this trail should be a breeze. This trail takes you right on the park boundary. So this is the north side of the ridge. And they're still under heavy fog over there. And you can see right there in the middle of the picture, there's development. There's houses and streets and roads. So I've reached this junction of the Rich Mountain Trail. And like I thought, from here all the way to that, all the way down Indian Grave Trail was easy walking. It was fast walking, easy. Different than most trails in the Smokies. It was not rocky and roots everywhere. It was pretty level, pretty flat, and nice views actually for most of the trail. So the rest of this trip is going to be a downhill down Rich Mountain loop, and then there's a little connector loop, so I don't have to walk that Cades Cove road. There's a little connector trail that goes right back to the trailhead where I started. There's right here close, and I haven't seen it yet, but there's another campsite. So for someone who's wanting to make an easy backpacking trip, hike up and stay at Camp 6, although it'd be a pretty tough walk. And I'm thinking that camp would probably be breezy and cold most of the time. Just the way it's located up on that little knob, that little saddle in those mountains. Anyway, it would be cold most of the time. I haven't seen this other one. I think it's Camp 5. And I haven't seen what the trail looks like hiking down. Obviously, I'm about the same elevation as I was over there at Camp 6. So there's the same amount of rise, same amount of fall. So it's going to be downhill all the way. And yeah, it would be a pretty decent overnight to stay at either one of those camps and then finish around and go back to your truck in the morning. I didn't end up seeing Camp 5, so I'm guessing it's a little bit further on that Rich Mountain Trail than where it junctions with the Indian Grave Gap Trail. The one thing I didn't mention was if it's like Camp 6 and you come up to backpack and stay for the night, Camp 6 I didn't see any water source close. So best advice would be to tote up enough water for the night and then the next morning to get back down the hill if you're going to backpack this trip. this morning's loop is going to be the Finley Cane Trail, the rest of the Boat Mountain Trail, and then come back down on the Lead Mountain Trail, Lead or Lead, I don't know, one of the two, Lead or Lead Mountain Trail. And this will just make about a 8-mile loop, I think. So a lot of people try to make it their goal to hike all the trails of the Smoky Mountains. For me, living in Indiana, I'm not sure how reachable that goal is with all the driving miles and having to walk so many of the trails multiple times in order to be able to pick up each trail. I'd have a lot of trips down here. But I can go ahead and hike while I'm here. Some of these little pieces, connect the dots, and add on to what I think I probably have. I think I probably have close to 250 miles that I've hiked in this park. It's a long way from the 800 that they claim are in the park. So this is actually the trail, a little connector trail that I needed to do. And it goes right underneath the road, and this creek runs through here. And I'm pretty sure that when I got here the other day, and the water was at its high level, this would not be a doable trail. So I'm still on the Finley Cane Trail. And I gotta say, this has been a really enjoyable trail. This is just meandered along the side of a mountain. There's some interesting, you can see up the side of the mountain and down in little cove areas. This would have been beautiful the last time that when me and my daughter came. When the fall leaves were on. This just might be one of my favorite easy hikes here that I've done. So I'm here at this junction where it now meets the Boat Mountain Trail. But I'm going to go ahead and follow for, it's like 3/10 of a mile to a junction down there and then backtrack this way just to connect all the dots. So, but when I get back to this junction, I'll take this trail up over my shoulder. That's the Boat Mountain Trail. Take it up to the Cades Cove trail and back down to the truck. So I'm not sure if you can hear it or not. But behind me there's one of the branches of the Little River. And if you can hear it, it is still. So this is Tuesday. Saturday, I think, is when they got all the rain here. Maybe even Friday night. But as you can hear, that river is still just rushing on. Boy, this is really the best place probably if you were going to make this an overnight backpack trip, would be to go on down this west prong trail. 0.6 miles. There's a camp 18 down there. I'm not gonna go down there and look at it, but so far this would be an easy, even if you just wanted to do an in and out. There's a couple other routes that you could come in and get to that 18 and then in and out back of the truck, or you could do this loop that I'm doing by doing the second half the following day. So I'm not certain if that's going to come through on the camera or not, but there is still snow up there on the mountain. And that's actually really close to the area that I was in the other day. I don't know what boat means, but I think it means take this mountain downhill and not uphill. Oh. This is making up for the ease of walking that last trail, the Finley Gap, Finley Cane. Oh, it has been steep uphill this whole section. I'm thinking at one time it was probably a road. It's wide enough I could drive my truck up if I wanted to. But it's steep enough. The truck would have to be in four-wheel drive to keep from slipping on all these leaves. Whew. That is a view of Cades Cove right down there. So Cades Cove still technically, it's still in view. It's kind of a Cades Cove loop. So I've reached the junction now here to Lead Cove. So it's just a repeat of what I did with my daughter a few weeks back, that trail. So I'm gonna sit here. I've been hiking for about 3 hours to get to this point. I'm gonna take a little break. Back to the uphill of Boat Mountain right after I got done looking like a baby spouting off about it. It did level off. It reached elevation and it then maintained a pretty level grade from there on out. So about probably 3/4 of a mile it was uphill, and then the rest of it's been pretty decent. So you could do this either direction, and it's not that bad. I really need to do a video sometime about this cool gadget I got this year, and it's the Garmin InReach. I can just easily go in here, send a preset message, everything is okay, send it. There's a little arrow saying it's trying to find signal right now, but in a matter of a few minutes I can send a satellite signal. I don't have cell service here. I can send a satellite signal home to my wife, let her know I'm all right on the trail. If anybody's doing any serious backpacking, I recommend getting one of these to be able to stay in touch and let people know where you're at and what you're doing.